Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever looked into the mirror and thought, wow, I still look young? And then almost instantly, the world reminds you, you're getting older, act your age. But what if I told you, looking younger than your age is not just about skin or genes? It's a symbol that life has tried to break you, but you refuse to let it. A sign that even when the world threw storms your way, you stood tall, your soul untouched, your spirit unwrinkled. Looking younger than your age means you have mastered the art of resilience. It means that every battle scar is hidden beneath your unshaken smile. It means that even when life whispered, "Give up," you responded, "Not today, not ever." Resilience is not just about surviving. It is about standing tall even when life pushes you to your knees. It is about facing the storms without letting them carve permanent marks on your soul. When people say someone looks younger than their age, they often assume it's genetics, skincare, or just plain luck. But the truth is, the real reason some people seem to defy time is because of their ability to endure life's hardest moments with an unshaken spirit. They have mastered resilience in its truest form. Life is unpredictable. One moment you are basking in the warmth of happiness, and the next you are thrown into a storm you never saw coming. Some people let these storms age them, not just physically, but emotionally. They carry the weight of their past on their faces, in their words, and in their presence. But then, there are those who go through the same storms and come out looking as if life has never touched them with its cruelty. It is not because they never felt pain. It is because they refuse to let that pain settle in their hearts and make a home there. When you face challenges with a resilient mindset, you learn to let go of what you cannot control. You learn to focus on what is in your hands rather than what is slipping through your fingers. The wrinkles that form on a person's soul before they even touch their face are often the result of clinging to burdens that should have been released long ago. Resilient people understand that no matter how deep the wounds, healing is always a choice. And healing is what keeps them young, not just in appearance, but in energy and enthusiasm and in the way they carry themselves. There are people who have been through unimaginable losses, betrayals, and disappointments, yet when you meet them, they radiate a light that makes you forget they have ever known darkness. They have learned to embrace life even when it is unfair. They have made peace with the past and refuse to let it rob them of their present. This kind of resilience is not built overnight. It is the result of countless nights spent in pain, countless moments where giving up seemed easier, and countless decisions to rise again despite everything. Stress, bitterness, and unresolved pain have a way of showing up on a person's face, in their posture, and even in their voice. People who carry resentment age faster, not because time is cruel, but because the weight of what they refuse to let go of drags them down. Resilient individuals understand that hardships are a part of life, but suffering is a choice. They choose to process their pain, learn from it, and move forward without allowing it to consume them. Resilience also means choosing joy, even when the world gives you 100 reasons not to. It means laughing even when life has not been kind. It means looking at yourself in the mirror and refusing to see a person broken by life, but instead someone who is stronger because of it. The ability to keep one's heart light, to find moments of happiness despite the struggles, and to keep hope alive even in the darkest times. This is what keeps a person truly young. When you look younger than your age, it is often because you have learned not to carry the unnecessary weight of regret, sorrow, and negativity. You have chosen to walk with a light heart rather than a heavy one. You have chosen to see life not as something that happens to you, but as something that happens for you. And this mindset, this unwavering resilience, is what keeps your spirit untouchable, your energy fresh, and your presence timeless. Youth is often measured in numbers, but in reality, it is a reflection of how we think, how we feel, and how we choose to live. Society has conditioned us to believe that age is a countdown, that with every passing year, something is lost. Beauty, energy, excitement, purpose. But those who truly understand life know that youth is not about how many birthdays have passed. It is about how much of life still burns inside of you. The number on your birth certificate is irrelevant if your spirit refuses to grow old. There are people in their 20s who already seem tired of life, weighed down by stress, negativity, and self-doubt. And then there are those in their 50s, 60s, or even beyond who radiate a kind of energy that makes you forget their age entirely. They move with passion, they speak with enthusiasm, they embrace each day with the curiosity of a child. It is not their body that defines them, it is their mindset. Youth is not a time in life, it is a way of thinking, a way of being. A youthful mindset is one that embraces possibilities. It does not dwell on failures, nor does it believe that dreams have an expiration date. People who stay young in their hearts refuse to let disappointments make them cynical. They do not allow the setbacks of the past to dictate their future. They wake up every morning believing that something beautiful is still possible. This is why they glow differently, why their energy feels lighter, why their presence is magnetic. Aging is inevitable, but growing old is a choice. The moment a person starts believing they are too old to chase dreams, too old to laugh freely, too old to try something new, that is the moment they allow age to settle in their soul. There are people who, at a young age, have already shut themselves off from joy, from adventure, from taking risks. And then there are those who, despite their years, still walk with the same excitement for life as they did in their youth. The way we perceive ourselves has a profound effect on the way we appear to the world. When a person believes they are young, they act accordingly. They take care of themselves, not because they fear aging, but because they respect their body and mind. They dress in a way that makes them feel good, not in a way that conforms to society's idea of what is appropriate for their age. They keep learning, evolving, and refusing to be stuck in the past. Their attitude alone makes them appear ageless. The difference between a youthful person and someone who has let age take over is not in their physical features, it is in their ability to embrace change. People who stay young at heart are not afraid of new ideas, new experiences, or new perspectives. They are not stuck in nostalgia, constantly longing for the past. Instead, they appreciate where they have been, but they remain excited about where they are going. They live with an open heart, and it shows in their eyes, in their voice, in the way they carry themselves. It is not external factors that determine whether a person seems young or old. It is their willingness to keep dreaming, to keep laughing, to keep believing in the beauty of life. People who hold on to this spirit do not just look younger, they feel younger. And when you feel young, the world sees you that way too. Youth is often measured in numbers, but in reality, it is a reflection of how we think, how we feel, and how we choose to live. Society has conditioned us to believe that age is a countdown, that with every passing year, something is lost. Beauty, energy, excitement, purpose. But those who truly understand life know that youth is not about how many birthdays have passed. It is about how much of life still burns inside of you. The number on your birth certificate is irrelevant if your spirit refuses to grow old. There are people in their 20s who already seem tired of life, weighed down by stress, negativity, and self-doubt. And then there are those in their 50s, 60s, or even beyond who radiate a kind of energy that makes you forget their age entirely. They move with passion, they speak with enthusiasm, they embrace each each day with the curiosity of a child. It is not their body that defines them, it is their mindset. Youth is not a time in life, it is a way of thinking, a way of being. A youthful mindset is one that embraces possibilities. It does not dwell on failures, nor does it believe that dreams have an expiration date. People who stay young in their hearts refuse to let disappointments make them cynical. They do not allow the setbacks of the past to dictate their future. They wake up every morning believing that something beautiful is still possible. This is why they glow differently, why their energy feels lighter, why their presence is magnetic. Aging is inevitable, but growing old is a choice. The moment a person starts believing they are too old to chase dreams, too old to laugh freely, too old to try something new, that is the moment they allow age to settle in their soul. There are people who, at a young age, have already shut themselves off from joy, from adventure, from taking risks. And then there are those who, despite their years, still walk with the same excitement for life as they did in their youth. The way we perceive ourselves has a profound effect on the way we appear to the world. When a person believes they are young, they act accordingly. They take care of themselves, not because they fear aging, but because they respect their body and mind. They dress in a way that makes them feel good, not in a way that conforms to society's idea of what is appropriate for their age. They keep learning, evolving, and refusing to be stuck in the past. Their attitude alone makes them appear ageless. The difference between a youthful person and someone who has let age take over is not in their physical features, it is in their ability to embrace change. People who stay young at heart are not afraid of new ideas, new experiences, or new perspectives. They are not stuck in nostalgia, constantly longing for the past. Instead, they appreciate where they have been, but they remain excited about where they are going. They live with an open heart, and it shows in their eyes, in their voice, in the way they carry themselves. It is not external factors that determine whether a person seems young or old. It is their willingness to keep dreaming, to keep laughing, to keep believing in the beauty of life. People who hold on to this spirit do not just look younger, they feel younger. And when you feel young, the world sees you that way too. Joy is not just an emotion, it is a decision. It is a way of looking at life, of embracing the present moment, of finding light even in the darkest places. Some people believe that joy is something external, something that comes from success, from wealth, from the validation of others. But real joy is different. It is something that comes from within, something that cannot be taken away by circumstances, something that does not depend on a perfect life. It is the secret that keeps people young, not just in appearance, but in energy, in spirit, in the way they carry themselves through the world. There are people who have everything: money, status, admiration, and yet their faces tell a different story. They look exhausted, burdened, aged beyond their years. The reason is simple. They have not learned how to truly enjoy life. They are constantly chasing something, constantly waiting for a future moment when they believe they will finally be happy. But joy is not something to be delayed. It is something to be embraced right now, in the midst of imperfection, in the middle of the chaos, in the ordinary moments that most people overlook. Then there are those who, despite not having much, radiate a kind of warmth that makes them seem ageless. They laugh freely, they appreciate the little things, they find beauty in places where others see nothing. They understand that joy is not about having a perfect life, but about having the right perspective. These people do not ignore their struggles, but they refuse to let those struggles define their existence. They make room for laughter, for love, for gratitude, even when life is not easy. Stress and negativity are the fastest ways to drain a person's energy, to make them appear older than they are, to strip them of the glow that comes from a life well lived. Those who hold on to grudges, who focus on what is missing, who allow every setback to steal their peace. These are the people who carry their struggles on their faces, in their posture, in the way they move through the world. They may not realize it, but their constant worry, their inability to let go, their focus on what went wrong instead of what is still right is slowly taking away their vitality. On the other hand, those who choose joy, who make it a priority, who intentionally seek out moments of happiness, are the ones who remain young at heart. They are the ones who laugh without hesitation, who do not take life too seriously, who understand that nothing is permanent, not the pain, not the disappointments, not the failures. They know that if they do not make space for joy now, they will never find it later. They do not wait for the perfect moment to celebrate life. They celebrate it in the middle of the mess. Joy has a way of preserving people. It keeps them light, it keeps them energized, it keeps them from being weighed down by things that do not truly matter. Those who find joy in simple things, a conversation, a sunset, a shared meal, a small victory, are the ones who never seem to age. Their eyes remain bright. Their smiles remain genuine. Their presence remains uplifting. They do not let the burdens of life settle into their bones. They shake them off. They laugh them away. They replace them with gratitude. People often search for ways to look younger, to hold on to their youth, to preserve their vitality. But the real answer is not found in external solutions. It is found in the ability to remain joyful despite life's challenges. It is found in the decision to keep smiling, to keep laughing, to keep seeing the good even when there is plenty of bad. It is a kind of youthfulness that no cream or treatment can replicate because it does not come from the outside. It comes from a heart that has chosen joy over everything else. Healing is not about erasing the past. It is about making peace with it. It is about choosing to move forward without carrying the weight of old wounds. Some people believe that time heals all things, but that is not entirely true. Time can pass, years can go by, and yet if a person has not actively chosen to heal, the pain remains just as fresh, just as heavy, just as capable of stealing their joy. True healing requires intention. It is a conscious decision to release the bitterness, to forgive both others and oneself, to stop reliving old pain and to allow life to be new again. There are people who have been through unimaginable difficulties, who have faced betrayal, heartbreak, and loss, and yet when you meet them, they radiate a lightness, a peace, a quiet strength. It is not because they have never suffered. It is because they have chosen not to let suffering define them. They have taken the lessons from their pain and left the rest behind. They do not carry resentment. They do not dwell on what could have been. They do not allow the past to rob them of their present. Then there are those who have held on to every hurt, every disappointment, every injustice. You can see it in the way they walk, in the way they speak, in the way they react to the smallest things. Their wounds have not healed because they have never truly allowed themselves to let go. They may say they have moved on, but their heart is still living in the past. They replay old conversations, they hold on to grudges, they let resentment build walls around them. This weight, whether they realize it or not, begins to show, not just emotionally, but physically. Their energy feels heavy. Their presence is filled with exhaustion, and it reflects in their expressions, in their posture, even in the way they age. Healing is not about forgetting what happened. It is not about pretending that pain never existed. It is about accepting that the past cannot be changed and choosing to create a different future. People who truly heal do not erase their experiences. They transform them into wisdom, into strength, into empathy. They understand that every difficulty shaped them, but it does not have to define them. When someone chooses healing, their entire being reflects it. Their face carries peace instead of stress. Their voice is lighter. Their presence is calmer. They do not react out of old wounds. They respond with clarity and understanding. Their energy feels open, welcoming, and free. There is a quiet confidence in them, a sense that they are not weighed down by invisible burdens. This is why those who heal often look younger than their years, because they have not allowed life to harden them, to steal their joy, to leave permanent marks on their soul. Carrying bitterness, anger, or regret ages a person faster than time ever could. The tension of unhealed wounds manifests in the body, in the mind, in the way a person moves through life. It creates stress, and stress is the quickest way to lose vitality. But those who heal choose to free themselves from this cycle. They let go of resentment, not because the other person deserves forgiveness, but because they themselves deserve peace. They release the past, not because it was fair, but because they refuse to let it control their future. Healing is a process, and it is not always easy. There are moments when old wounds resurface, when pain knocks on the door again. But the difference is in the choice. A healed person acknowledges the pain, but does not invite it to stay. They remind themselves that they have already walked through the fire, that they have already survived the worst, and that they have the power to create something better. This choice, this ability to move forward, is what keeps a person truly young. It is what allows them to live without the weight of the past pulling them down. It is what gives them a presence that feels light, even after walking through heavy storms. Living fully is not about having more time. It is about making the most of the time that is already here. Some people live decades but never truly experience life. They spend their days waiting for the perfect moment, for the right circumstances, for a time when everything will finally feel just right. But life does not wait. It does not pause for anyone to be ready. It keeps moving. And those who do not learn to embrace it as it is end up watching it pass them by. Those who truly live, who wake up every morning with a sense of purpose, who find joy in the ordinary, who are present in their own lives, these are the people who never really age. There are those who move through life cautiously, afraid to take risks, afraid to step outside their comfort zone, afraid to chase what truly sets their soul on fire. They follow routines, do what is expected of them, and play it safe, believing that security is more important than passion. But security does not bring vibrance. It does not make a person feel alive. It does not add fire to their soul or light to their eyes. People who live this way may survive, but they do not thrive. They count the years, but they do not fill them with anything meaningful. They may have aged, but they have never truly lived. Then there are those who understand that life is not meant to be merely endured. It is meant to be experienced. These are the people who say yes to adventure, who refuse to let fear dictate their choices, who chase dreams no matter how impossible they seem. They are not reckless, but they are also not ruled by hesitation. They take chances, they make mistakes, they fall down, and they get back up. They do not let the fear of failure stop them from trying. They do not let the opinions of others control their path. They live on their own terms, and because of that, they carry an energy that makes them seem ageless. There is a kind of radiance that only comes from those who have chosen to embrace life fully. It is not about youth in the traditional sense. It is about the spirit. A person who has spent their years chasing their passions, building meaningful relationships, and filling their life with experiences instead of regrets will always seem younger than someone who has spent their years holding back, waiting, hesitating. It is not the number of candles on a cake that determine a person's vitality. It is the way they have chosen to spend their days. People who truly live do not waste time dwelling on what they cannot change. They do not sit in regret over missed opportunities, they create new ones. They do not let the past define them. They build a future that excites them. They know that every moment is an opportunity to start again, to do something new, to chase a different dream. They refuse to let time slip through their fingers unnoticed. They make the most of every single day, not because they fear getting older, but because they understand the value of life itself. Joy, passion, and purpose have a way of preserving a person. When someone is excited about their life, when they are deeply engaged in what they do, when they wake up with something to look forward to, they carry an energy that defies age. They do not become weighed down by monotony, by regret, by the feeling that life is slipping away from them. Instead, they embrace every moment. They live fully, and because of that, they remain youthful, not just in appearance, but in spirit. There are many who look for ways to stay young, to preserve their youth, to hold on to the vibrance they once had, but the secret is simple: live. Truly, deeply, unapologetically live. Chase what makes your heart race. Love without holding back. Take chances. Laugh loudly. Feel everything. Be present. Because the people who do this, the people who refuse to simply exist and instead choose to truly live, are the ones who never truly grow old.
Sotto la luna cammino piano, con le scarpe vecchie di papà, strada parra, lo cori canta, e ti penso mentre va. Sotto la luna cammino piano, con le scarpe vecchie di papà, strada parra, lo cori canta, e ti penso mentre va. A nonna spanna i panni fuori, culo sole che struscia l'aria, o pane caldo sopra la pietra e l'odore di casa mia. Vento di casa, portami a tia, tra le mura du paese mia. Se tu mi chiami, torno con tutto, chianta un limone, ti do lo frutto. Una fontana cantante chiazza i picciri di corrono fuori, e una canzone antica balliamo con l'organetto che suona ancora. Una fontana cantante chiazza i picciri di corrono fuori, e una canzone antica balliamo con l'organetto che suona ancora. E se lontano vai non scordare, che ogni pezza cagati si può ricostruire. Lo cuore mio sempre ti sapi, torna a casa che lo cielo t'abbraccia. Vento di casa, portami a